Let us discuss about acute mastitis. Acute mastitis. We have to understand what is mastitis first. First, let's draw the diagram of middle ear cleft. This is how middle ear cleft looks like. Okay, here we have mastoid air cells, right? These are mastoid air cells. This is antrum. This is aditus. This is middle ear cavity. Middle ear cavity. This is attic. This is eustachian tube. Clear? Now, what is mastoiditis? These are, suppose if zoom one mastoid cell, it will be like this, right? This mastoid cell is lined by mucosa, right? When inflammation spreads from this mucosa to underlying bone, here there is bone, right? So if the inflammation spreads from mucosa to this bone, then it is called mastoiditis. Clear? So what is mastoiditis? When inflammation spreads from mucosa to underlying bone, then it is called mastoiditis. So this is what is called mastoiditis. Let's try to understand this in detail. So why there is mastoiditis? Initially there will be ASOM or acute suppurative otitis media. This infection will spread to mastoid air cells. Mastoid air cells. Clear? This, due to this, it results in pus formation in the mastoid air cells. Okay, this is mastoid air cell. If we take this as mastoid air cell, it results in pus formation due to inflammation, right? And due to pus formation, it results in hyperemia. All these things will happen, right? All the signs of inflammation will result. This hyperemia causes decalcification of bone, underlying bone. So here we have bone, right? Here we have bone, right? It causes decalcification of bone, and due to this decalcification, so what happens, this there in between two mastoid cells there is bone, right? So this bone is lost. So what happens, these two mastoid cells will come together and forms cavity, right? Like this. So due to this decalcification, it results in collision of, or we can say collision of mastoid cells, that results in cavity formation, right? Cavity formation. This cavity contains pus, right? This contains pus, and you see now pus has collected, right? And this pus will get accumulated, will increase in amount, mainly because two reasons. One is there is excess production, another one is there is inflammation of mucosa of antrum. Inflammation of mucosa of antrum. Due to this, there is obstruction to the outflow of, obstruction to the outflow of pus, and that results in pus accumulation. But somehow, at least in the form of some amounts, this pus comes out through tympanic membrane by perforating, or it can go through eustachian tube. Okay, this goes out in the form through eustachian tube or tympanic membrane by perforating, right? So here, as I told you, there is calcification, right? This calcification has got a separate term called hyperemic calcification. Hyperemic decalcification. Clear? So now what has happened, there is accumulation of pus in the mastoid. Okay, all the air cells have coalesced or formed into a, all this formed into a cavity, right? That means all this is pus. Now this pus erodes the cortex of mastoid, right? Mastoid cortex will be eroded, and it results in the formation of subperiosteal abscess, right? It results in the formation of subperiosteal abscess. Sometimes this subperiosteal abscess will break and will come out to the surface. Result in the formation of discharging fistula. Right? So this is how it results. So let's revise it once again. Initially there will be ASOM. It results in inflammation of mastoid cells, and that results in pus formation. Pus causes decalcification. This decalcification is called hyperemic decalcification, and this comes out through eustachian tube or tympanic membrane, and this decalcification causes collision of all mastoid cells and results in the formation of cavity. This cavity is filled with pus. This pus causes erosion of cortex of mastoid and results in the formation of subperiosteal abscess, and this ultimately comes by bursting onto the surface and results in the formation of fistula. Clear? This is simplified pathology. Now let's see the signs and symptoms. Signs and symptoms. What could be the signs and symptoms? So there will be pain behind the ear. And as it is inflammation, there will be fever. There will be ear discharge because there is perforation of tympanic membrane, right? So there will be ear discharge, and there will be mastoid tenderness also. Mastoid tenderness, and there will be sagging of posterior superior meatal wall. Sagging of posterior superior meatal wall. Okay, there will be swelling of the mastoid. Swelling over the mastoid. There will be hearing loss. Okay, what are the signs and symptoms we have seen? So let's once again revise it. On the mastoid, if take on the mastoid, what are the symptoms? We have swelling, right? We have swelling, we have tenderness, and we have pain also, right? These are symptoms. Then if taken tympanic membrane, what are the symptoms we have seen? We have perforation and we have discharge, right? And we have sagging of posterior superior meatal wall. Clear? And we have hearing loss also. Fever. Okay, we have all these symptoms, right? So this is about symptoms, signs and symptoms. Now what are the investigation that you do? So as it is inflammation, we'll do blood count. We do erythrocyte sedimentation rate. We'll do X-ray of mastoid. We'll do ear swab. These are all common things, right? Everyone can understand this. Clear? And what is the treatment that we can give to this disease? Treatment. One is, first we will hospitalize the patient and give antibiotics, right? What are the antibiotics that you can give? We can give before cell culture or before identifying the causative organism. First we'll give drugs like amoxicillin, ampicillin, right? Ampicillin and metronidazole. All these things can be done. When there is excess pus, then we will do myringotomy and drain the pus. If there is excess pus, then we will do meningotomy and drain the pus. Another treatment is last treatment is cortical mastectomy. Clear? So these are all the treatment options we have. Then what could be the complications of this acute mastocytitis? It results in post-auricular abscess formation. If we don't treat it, then it results in post-auricular mastoid abscess. Sorry, post-auricular abscess. Then zygomatic abscess. It results in basal abscess. I'll make a video on this basal abscess in the next video. Okay, I'll discuss about this in the next video. Then meatal abscess abscesses, and behind the mastoid abscess, we can also see parapharyngeal and retropharyngeal abscess. Okay, these are the complications. What are the complications? Let's revise once again. Post-auricular abscess, zygomatic abscess, basal abscess, meatal abscess, behind the mastoid abscess, then parapharyngeal and retropharyngeal abscess. These are the complications. I hope I have told you very clearly. Thanks for watching. I have given just an outline. Please go through your textbooks once again. Thank you for watching.